everybody, I'm Angela Yee here at the NASDAQ Market Site with my Wealth Wednesdays co-host, Stacey Tisdale, and we're excited to have you join us for a very special Wealth Wednesdays. It's a Breakfast Club YouTube event about Black women and investing.
Yes, we're celebrating the surge in investing by the Black community since the COVID pandemic, as economic circumstances and almost daily headlines about wealth being built in stocks prompted many to participate in the stock market for the very first time.
Cassandra Cummings. Hey, Cassandra.
Hey, Angela.
Founder of Stocks and Stilettos Society, which is a community of over 100,000 Black female investors, has witnessed this new enthusiasm for investing by Black women firsthand.
And we're very excited to be joined by Cassandra and Alicia McGee, a member of the Stocks and Stilettos Society. Welcome so much to you both, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yay.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now, Cassandra, before we jump into why it's so important for Black women to invest and how they can be smart about it, tell us how the Stocks and Stilettos Society actually got started.
Well, the society actually got started from a recommendation from a friend. And after I left the investment world, she said, you should start a Facebook group. And I said, what is that? And so she showed me how to set up the Facebook group. I set it up and ran my first 21-day stock market challenge, which was free. And my group went from 25 to like over 5,000 women.
Just in a few days because of the challenge.
Yeah, it was about a little over a week. Yeah.
And I know, Alicia, you're one of the people who got taken in by Stocks and Stilettos and learned about it, and it really changed your life. So tell us what it did for you financially and mentally.
Mentally, it's opened up my mind to just so many different possibilities, right? Because traditionally, we're taught, go to college, get a good job, kind of work till you die. But we're not taught about investing. It wasn't as accessible as it is now. Like I started learning in the Facebook group. There was no way for my mom to have gotten that knowledge in the same kind of way. So initially, when I found it, I was solely dependent on my paycheck. Now I have several income streams, including my portfolio, including trading, including some other investment vehicles I've gotten into as a result of being a part of the society.
Now, Alicia, not to be all in your pockets, but I'm a fan of starting small when you're trying to figure something out. So what was the beginning stages like for you when it came to investing?
The beginning for me was the Build-A-Bag Challenge. We start with $500 and we learn to flip that, and you just keep flipping it and keep flipping it. And it's really about how much time and how much money you want to make with it.
And when did you start feeling more confident?
Honestly, it was after that Build-A-Bag class. I first got my confidence when I joined the investment club. I bought my first share of stock with my investment club through the society. And because of the training I got through that program, I started my own portfolio. I started buying stocks on the side by myself. And then I went to the first conference, and that's where I was introduced to trading. And at that point, I felt like the whole world just opened up. And I was like, oh, I wanted to learn how to trade everything, which I don't recommend. One thing at a time. But yeah, once I learned how to do that and I got the confidence up, I was like, oh, I'm trading this, I'm trading that. And you just take it from there.
And you're such a great example, because when we hear about Black women, people don't think of us as being financially literate, but you always make the point, Cassandra, Black women are very financially literate. Yeah. They're what we balance, and we're the most educated group, but you're saying it's not really a financial literacy gap, it's an investing gap.
Yeah, because over 80% of financial decisions at home are made by women. And so they know how to manage money, they know how to make, $1 out of 15 cents. But when it comes to investing the money, that's where the lack of exposure has been. And so communities like the Stocks and Stilettos Society really introduces them to that next level of financial literacy, which is learning how to invest.
Excellent. And I love the idea of investing with a group of women. So Alicia, we talked about confidence. Now, what kind of conversations are you having with your girls now, just from having joined Stocks and Stilettos?
The conversations are completely different. We talk about stocks. You know, we all have portfolios now. We all, even if maybe we just have some fractional shares, but I'm always talking about, did you see what happened to Tesla today? Did you hear that Amazon
These are
is
your dinner
splitting?
conversations.
Yes,
Wow,
our dinner
that's excellent.
conversations. You know, and that also
That's our gossip.
Yes, that's the gossip. Like, girl, did you see what just happened? They announced a stock split. I mean, when that happened, cell phones were going off everywhere.
Every time she tells me she's going shopping, I buy Amazon stock.
Not that much stuff.
But it's also, like I said, other investment vehicles, because now we have this skill where we can create disposable income. So now we're using that to invest in real estate, to do angel investing, you know, to start businesses. You know, so the conversation has evolved just from learning how to invest.
And Cassandra, when you hear this, and you've seen 100,000 stories like this, how critical is stock market investing for Black women when you look at their economic circumstance?
Yeah, our net worth pales in comparison to other ethnic groups, and so it's really important that Black women learn how to invest in order to close that investing gender gap. And so the thing about the Stocks and Stilettos Society is that it's more like a financial sorority, if you will. And so there's a sisterhood around money, which is totally different from the traditional sororities that we've come to know.
And Cassandra, as women are prospering and gaining this knowledge, and we talk about closing the wealth gap, how important is this information when it comes to children and passing that knowledge down to the kids and also our communities?
Yeah, oftentimes Black women are their first teachers. And so it's really important that Black women are equipped with this knowledge so that they can, in fact, impart that knowledge on the youth as they come up. And so it's actually been such a game changer, because I believe women, Black women in particular, are going to be the ones that really break these financial generational curses to come.
Who would have thought that we'd be sitting here having this conversation at the NASDAQ market site?
I know.
We want to
This
give
is
them another
nice.
just shout out for them for seeing this, how important this is.
Yeah.
So speaking of knowledge,
Yes.
talk to us about the difference between short-term investing and long-term investing. When I used to work here, nobody would even think about telling people to become short-term investors. But it's
Right.
really, when you look at our economic circumstances, it's different, and we need that now cash.
Absolutely.
So we need two strategies. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, the short-term investing is relatively new to our community, and it's so important because we really need to know how to extract money from the market now in order to level the playing field. And so being able to combine the two, the short-term investing with the long-term investing, is going to be absolutely critical to close that wealth gap. So short-term investing, such as trading options, trading futures, is something that women can get all day, every day, right? But the long-term investing is also just as critical for retirement and planning for those generations to come.
And not only half as many Black women have money in retirement as
Yeah.
white women. So that's, and 89% of elderly-stricken, poverty-stricken elderly are Black women. So I know that's really important. But not a lot of people think of that short term, like to help you pay with student loan debt and things like that. But how do you do it safely?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
You know, that's a high wire act.
Some
because
people are like, here's my whole savings stock option. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, because you know, Black women are just traditionally risk adverse, but without any risk, there's no reward.
Right.
And so they have to learn how to take that leap. And the best way to do that is to get in those communities like ours, or get around other women who are having these conversations. And that's going to build confidence. That's going to allow you to put money in the market, take those risks so you can reap those rewards.
And when it comes to short-term investing for myself, if I can't afford to lose it, I can't do it.
Right.
And so that's really like money that you're like, okay, I can still pay all my bills and handle what I need to handle, and hopefully this works out. But if God forbid it doesn't, at least, you know, I still have a roof over my head.
Right, home is taken care of, absolutely. You don't want to play around with your mailbox bills, is what I call it. And so, you know, you want to make sure those are taken care of before you even consider doing a short-term investment play.
Yeah.
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 Now, I know a lot of men and women, all right, because women is, with Stocks and Stilettos, all about black women,
Yes.
are going to hear this and want to know, how can I jump in and get started if I haven't done anything yet, or maybe I've done minimal things. So what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think on the long-term investing, you got to get started because you need time in the market, and it's not about timing the market. So for long-term investing, you need that time to season the meat, right? Or bake that cake. You need that time. But with short-term investing, I always say get a practice account, get a simulated account, play around with play money before you actually use your real money. And so that's how you build up your confidence and get in the market that way. So you can actually start with play money and practice and really get it down to a science before you actually put some skin in the game.
Play money's hard because you're like, man, if I would have used real money, I would have made this.
It's like first
It makes
time
you mad. It makes you
no,
mad.
I
It
get
makes
too
you
mad.
mad.
Like
I could have made $100,000.
Exactly.
I should have did it already with my real money.
Right.
Exactly.
And how can, for Stocks and Stilettos, how can you join that group too? Just for people who are like, okay, do
Yeah.
I qualify, or how do I get picked to join this sorority?
Right, right. So you can go to Facebook. We're really big on Facebook at Stocks and Stilettos, or you can go to bit.ly/Stocks and Stilettos, and you'll find us there. We did have a men's group, but we find that the women tend to be more collaborative, and they really want to see other women win financially. So it's just been a really good energy in the
Sisterhood,
group.
like you said.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that.
But you have a challenge coming up. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
so I have a boot camp. So those ladies who want to actually pair their long-term strategy with a short-term strategy, we're having a build-a-bag boot camp where Alicia alluded to earlier how you can take that 500 and flip it to 5K.
And how do people find that?
So we go to buildabagbootcamp.com. So again, buildabagbootcamp.com is where you can get registered and find out more information.
And the challenge is running April 18th to 22nd?
Yeah, right after.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Buildabagbootcamp.com.
Yeah.
I want to build a Chanel bag.
Yeah.
Work it, okay?
There you go. There you go. I love it.
Well, Elisa, Cassandra, thank you so much. We really are honored to have you here. We're celebrating women in investing on Wealth Wednesdays. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. We really appreciate the information and the knowledge, and to also see, a successful woman, a business entrepreneur who has now had multiple streams of income
Yeah.
just from doing Stocks and Stilettos, to show you that it is possible
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you. And
Much on you.
thanks again to the NASDAQ market site for giving us this space and this time to have this conversation here. Thank you all.